Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a review on the Urban Decay Great and Powerful Oz palette, and it will be the Glinda one, which is just personally what I chose for my own style. And I'm going to be swatching each of these shades, and I'm going to be swatching them on my fingers instead of my arms, because with your arms it can be all like awkward putting my armpit all up in the camera. So I just want to avoid that and be able to show it on my finger and tell you basically how it wears and talk about the pigmentation and everything. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about with this palette is the packaging. It's really sturdy, and it's actually a little bit thicker than, say, my Naked palettes, but it's not as bulky, I think, as the original, you know, build your own palettes that Urban Decay was making. But you've got a full mirror right here, which is really useful. This palette in itself, just how it looks, is kind of like a faceted jewel on your vanity. Now, that does not mean that it's necessarily perfect performance-wise, but we'll get to that eventually. And then it's also got the click, snap, shut mechanism that the Naked 2 has, which is, you know, pretty nice. I prefer magnetic shutting, but this is pretty sturdy as well. And then the next thing it also has as part of the palette is this Rockstar eyeliner, which is just a deep plummy purple. And I'm going to swatch that on my hand for you. Here is what the swatch looks like for Rockstar. It goes perfectly with the purple that's already provided in this palette. And then this is the super saturated lip color that comes with the palette in the shade Glinda. And this is what it looks like swatched and then built up on this other side here. I'm actually wearing Glinda right now, and as you can tell, it's a very natural but nicely shimmery color. It kind of reminds me of the shade Naked that used to already be available as a lipstick from Urban Decay. Okay, now we are gonna break into the inside of the palette, where I'm just gonna go off on a tangent on how gorgeous and wonderful and unique and pretty these colors are, and how I have a personal spiritual connection with some of them. Just kidding, I don't. Okay, so I'm going to take out each one of them at a time and show them to you, and we are going to start actually at the bottom with this color that I've been using a lot called Illusion. This is the shade Illusion out of the box, and this is kind of a peachy gold champagne color, and it's got a bit of a metallic sheen to it, which is really interesting. I didn't really expect that when I first bought it, but it definitely transfers on as metallic when I put it on the lid. For fair-skinned people, this is a great lid color, and for deeper skin tones, this is fantastic as a nice warm highlighter. As we hold Illusion up here, you can see how it has that metallic effect to it, and I just think that's really, really pretty. Okay, for the next shade, we have the fantastic color Oz. This one has a few downsides though. These are the, sorry, I didn't really swatch it appropriately. Here's the gold one, here's the silver one. Everyone kind of complains about fallout a little bit. I don't mind it, actually. I did get when I used the gold one, it did kind of show up on my cheekbones a little bit. The unexpected thing about these two colors, even though they're both obviously already metallic, you would expect the sparkles to be gold sparkles and silver sparkles, but if I can show you a little bit closer here, the sparkles in here are actually iridescent, so they are in no way metallic, which I found kind of just to be a really neat little detail. This next eyeshadow is the shade South, and this one has actually been kind of comparable to Urban Decay's Mushroom. It's got kind of a taupey, but more dark taupe, silvery effect. And you can see it here on the finger. There are shimmers, but they're just very subtle, and it's not one that has as big of an issue with fallout as, say, the two colors from Oz. This is a fantastic crease or contour color, and I think it's really nice. It's not my favorite one in the palette since I kind of head towards the brighter shades, but this is perfect for a more neutral look that anyone might do. Okay, the next shade in the entire palette is probably the one with the better payoff of the rest of them. You can tell already I gouged my little Berber when I opened it, and I was really sad. So here is what it looks like on the finger. This is called Magic, and it's kind of a pinky lavender tone. It's got very, very fine glitter in it, and it's got kind of a satiny demi-matte finish. I think this is a really fantastic color, and it's great for transitioning purples into the crease. And I think a lot of brown-eyed girls would just really love wearing this one. It's so pretty. The next color is probably one of the more interesting ones in the palette, and this is called Aura. And what's really fascinating about it is they are iridescent, and they are 2 duochrome colors. So this is another one of those ones where you get, you know, 2 colors in one. Now, I don't know if all of you are familiar with these, but these are technically called eye transformers, and here's the reason why. I went ahead and swatched it on my knuckles to show what effect they give. You can swatch them on top of dark or light eyeliner, so I put it on top of white or black. And generally, they come out better on top of black eyeliner, and they add a sheer iridescent effect on whatever you've done with your work. So I think this is really neat to use as an inner corner highlighter, or if you did like a dark smoky eye and you want to lighten up the inside of your lid, I would go ahead and use one of these colors. So the bluish purple one here is on this side, and then this side has kind of a pinky colored one. Okay, and here's what they look like swatched. So here's the purpley one, and then here's the more pink, yellow pearl one. I prefer the pink one. I've been using it as a highlighter a little bit, and I just think they're really neat, but you gotta know how to work with them to kind of make them pop and become a more powerful color on your eye. Okay, so this is the last eyeshadow in the palette, and it's actually what I'm using as an outer crease color. It is called Tornado, and it's a deep, shimmery plum color. This is really great for smoky eye, really great for outer crease contouring, and just in general, purples tend to flatter a lot of people, so this is an absolutely gorgeous color that I think a lot of people will like. This is what it looks like swatched on the finger, and you can see actually when it's swatched, it kind of gives off like a pinky undertone. It's got kind of a reddish burgundy sort of mixture in there, which makes the color even more interesting to me. So this one is absolutely awesome. It's a hard time picking which ones are my favorite in this palette, but I'd say in terms of performance, I like this one better because all of Urban Decay shimmer formulas really seem to perform the best. Okay, so that is what the swatches look like for all the colors. I just wanted to make a few notes on kind of how they perform for me, and I know I kind of mentioned a little bit as I talked about each color. I do want to say that with this palette, at first I was a little bit disappointed because when I swatched into some things, it seemed like they didn't have much give and they weren't coming off at first. So if you get this palette and you feel like the color isn't picking up, this is the kind of one, I guess, that the first layer, you know, you gotta break through the first layer or two and then you start getting a little bit more give with the eyeshadow. Unfortunately, I don't know what they did. Maybe they did something a little bit different with the formula in Urban Decay, but initially I was a little bit freaked out because I was like, what? I got these beautiful colors and they're not doing what they're supposed to, and I'm scared. I wasn't really scared, but I was upset that I had wasted my money because this palette is $49. I will say that the two that perform best, like I said earlier, this purple shimmery one and then this shimmery one as well, because Urban Decay's like outright shimmer formulas always perform the best. They usually have a more buttery texture. And then this one is not secured in my palette. Oh my. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them below. And also tell me if you kind of like these style reviews I do. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys are having an awesome day, and thank you for stopping by and watching my videos and being my buddy. Bye.